learn
Oh my gosh,
to
really?
be independent. Yeah,
That's crazy. I wonder if her parents know she acts up like that in class.
you know, that's something we need to report.
Yeah.
Documents, right?
Speaking of that, actually, I was working on a lesson plan for a third grade language arts project about facts and opinions, and I was wondering if you could check over my lesson plan.
For sure. Are you looking into more of like assessment types or what?
Yeah, definitely. I have all my outcomes. I just don't know how to assess it exactly.
Great. Well, I think student involvement, having the students involved in their own assessment is a really great thing to include. But let me take a peek at your lesson plan here.
Okay.
Great. That looks really, really nice. Can you tell me how you came up with that plan? Like, what was your thinking process?
So in university, I learned this term called backwards design. So I use that when I work on my lesson plans.
Can you tell me a little bit more about that? I've never heard that before.
Yeah, it's really cool. It's exactly what it sounds. You start with the outcomes, which is on your program of studies, which is the end point of what you want your students to get. And then you basically start your lesson, and then you put in the middle all the things you want them to know, projects, inquiry, little assessment tools and whatnot, and then you have your lesson.
Great. Well, I've been a grade 3 teacher for a few years now, and I've actually done a lesson pretty similar to this. And I'd love to show you. I have this really great idea for self-assessment. It's an exit slip right here. And so I'll let you take a little peek at that.
Oh, I love it! You use kid-friendly language and pictures. The kids must find that so useful.
Oh, they did. They did really well.
I
And
bet.
then in terms of assessing some writing here, I have a rubric as well that I'd like to show you as a great example.
Perfect. Oh, look at all your parallel language. That looks great.
Perfect.
Super easy to follow.
Yeah, thank you for informing me of backwards design, and I hope that you can take this conversation and apply it in your classroom.
No worries. I hope you use backwards design
Oh,
for your next lesson.
We should change this checklist a little bit.
Yeah.
For her changing each time.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I'm Miss Cuba. I'm a grade 1 teacher here.
Hi, Miss Keel. I'm the kindergarten teacher here.
So we're just talking about a student of mine who has really low self-efficacy, and it's also reflecting in her achievement level as well.
Yeah, we've noticed a lot of our kids with low cognitive abilities, they often lack self-efficacy. So we're talking about some strategies here today.
Yeah, so what we're doing now for the last few weeks here, we are sending the student into Miss Keel's classroom for about an hour every few days, just to work on her literacy skills and everything. So she is kind of a little bit of a classroom assistant. Sort of
Yeah,
thing.
she's our little helper.
Yeah, it's awesome, and she loves it. She really likes being in there. It kind of gives her a little bit more of a special role and helps boost her self-efficacy, as well as giving her the opportunity to experience some of the kindergarten outcomes. So working on her number fluency, some of her letters and stuff like that, which will in turn help her achievement as well.
Yeah, and we also thought it gives her a chance for a differentiated and alternate assessment opportunities.
Yeah, and so each week I'll send Miss Keel a little bit of a checklist, and she'll go over it with the student during class time. And then when she comes back to me the other days, we kind of go over it and see if we should maybe stick with some of the kindergarten outcomes, or maybe she's ready for our grade 1 outcomes as well.
Yeah, and we really wanted to catch this and give her a chance before she fell even further behind. So we're trying to get her back on track for next year.
Which is really important, because right now grade 1 stuff, it's just beyond her zone of proximal development, regardless of the scaffolding we have in the classroom. So we're hoping that this differentiated instruction and alternate assessment tools will really help her self-efficacy as well as her achievement level. We have some really good ed assistants helping us out with that as well.
Hello.
So yeah, that's kind of where we're going right now.
Thanks for stopping by.
Yeah.
What I've really taken from this course is I've learned about the importance of linking rubrics to the program of studies. It makes much more sense, especially when we are creating tools for assessment of learning and for learning. And it also provides opportunities and flexibility for differentiation in the classroom, as rubric is something you can see visually of where you can change things such as numbers, like 2 to 3 examples, 1 example, 4 to 5 examples, and that can probably work best with your students and your classroom.
Okay, so one of the most important things I took away from assessment is, first, you have to plan properly. You have to use backwards design and the program of studies and the outcomes to plan for exactly what you want your students to get out of the lesson, rather than going online and finding a blingy lesson plan, and that has nothing to do with what you're doing, the course. It's much more meaningful and authentic when the students can take something away from the lesson rather than we worked on an art project all day. Best if you could relate it to life and outside of school, but you know, we're all still learning too.
So the most important thing that I took away from this course was really being able to understand differentiation better, as well as the whole concept of representing a big picture. I found myself reflecting on past lessons I've taught or lessons I've planned, and kind of thinking about how I could have maybe represented differentiation better or communicated the big picture in a different way. So I feel more confident going into my next year practicum with those ideas.
So one of the biggest things I took away about with regards to assessment this year was that it's really a process. It's ongoing and it never stops, and you're always adjusting and always readjusting for your students, because you're going to have different students every year, and your assessment really needs to be flexible enough to meet the needs of all your students. And this sort of, you need to give them opportunities to show what they've learned, because assessment isn't meant to be convenient for a teacher, it's meant to be convenient for the students so they can demonstrate what they know. And if I haven't provided enough opportunities, then I haven't done my job, or provided my students with the tools that they need to be successful.